This video tutorial is logging in as a student. Students are working in their showing evidence tool, and now they have to use the rubric to rate the quality and the strength and evaluate their work that they've done. So all of these rubrics that I shared with you in the resources folder and that the students are going to use are for students. It's for their self-reflection and self-evaluation, and not for the teacher to do a rubric on students. Students would go to the showing evidence tool, actually any one of the tools. They would find their student login, and then they would log in as students. I'm logged in as a student to my teacher workspace, so I'm playing the role of a student here. I'm going to go down to the column of, or the row rather, of showing evidence projects. The project that my team and I are working on is the one about laptops. Our question was, will having student laptops have a positive or negative impact on student learning? And so my team and I are going back in here to continue some work that we have started. So let me give you a view of what that looks like. My team and I have decided that we'll have a positive impact. I haven't given an explanation, and I've rated a few things over here already with the piece of evidence that I have using my rubrics. So let's start with this piece of evidence here is already pulled over here. My group and I have already rated ourselves on that piece of evidence. And so now I'm going to click my edit button, and I'm going to open this one back up so that I can see exactly where I need to do my rating as I turn down my phone here. So here is a piece of evidence, and this would actually reject our claim. People in our group said, we hate laptops. We have to do so much more work, and we don't think that's a positive thing. And what was our source? Our group was our source. As I'm comparing it with what I did over here about students who, or rather Mooresville, North Carolina, who's already written the book, and they've already gathered data, and they have a model. As you can already tell, that's much stronger evidence. The quality of it is better. So now I've gotten to the point where I have to rate this evidence quality, and that's where my rubrics come into play. And here is what the students will do. Now notice that on the newer version, they rate themselves as a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, and these are actually check marks. So these are the number of check marks. So you have to correlate the number of check marks with the actual number. So the reason I would rate myself low on this one is because it's not really factual. It's not even a personal website, and it's just us. So we would have to give ourselves a pretty low rating on that. The higher quality of evidence, where it comes from, how recent it is, how credible of a source it is, that's where you're going to get your higher numbers. So on this one, I really wouldn't rate myself very high at all. I would rate myself a 1. And so I'm going to save that, and then I'm going to pull that over because actually this statement rejects our claim. Now I've got to give quality support. So that brings me to my next rubric. It didn't support our claim, so I'm not going to look at the plus symbols in the green. It was a rejection of our claim. But again, what's the strength of our evidence? You know, where did we pull this information from? Well, again, it's insignificant. It's just our opinion. It's not fact-based. It's not based on any kind of data. If it were based on more data, they could read in here about how many check marks, or how many minuses rather, to give themselves. So this is going to have to be very low. And I can, as a teacher, I can tell them they have to go in here and they have to make comments. So they would click the comment button here and they would make a comment on it. I'm not going to do that now for the sake of time. I'm all done now. And I have my evidence, my pieces of evidence here. I've got my claim. I maybe have given an explanation. But I am going to give a rating of my overall progress through this. And that brings us to the last rubric, and that is this one, the evaluation of our claim. Again, the fewer stars, that means our claims are not very justified. The more stars, more true and valid. And so overall on our project, what we feel is that we've given ourselves a 4 because we have more pieces of evidence here. So we would rate ourselves a 4 out of 5 stars on that one, and then we would make some final comments there. I can also go to the bottom as a team and make comments here, remember. So that's where the rubrics come in. That's where they come into play. It's not you as a teacher that uses them, it's the students that use them. And that's the end of this video tutorial. If I can get my video to stop. I love these bloopers. I've got this expanded so far, I can't find my toolbar. Here we go. It's not that one. I bet you guys are loving this. Let's pull this up. And no. I love technology. One more. Minimize this here. Try to pull it up. I'm going to do it one more time before I give up and just say to heck with it. Okay.